Hey there and welcome. Today we are going to tackle a research standard that can feel, a little big, especially for our youngest learners. We're going to break it down and turn it into a simple, powerful routine that you can literally use in your classroom tomorrow. We're going from the official language on the page to a hands-on activity that will get your kids genuinely excited to learn. Let's dive in. So, let's start with the big question, right? How in the world do you teach research to a 5-year-old? It can sound kind of intimidating. But the good news is, the answer is way simpler and a lot more fun than you might think. We're not talking about, research papers and bibliographies here. It's all about harnessing the superpower that your kids already have in spades, their natural, boundless curiosity. All right, so how are we going to get there? Here's our roadmap. First, we'll frame the research standard itself. Then we'll jump into planning with some amazing resources. After that, the fun part, teaching the core routine. We'll cover how to support all your learners, how to assess their learning, and then we'll wrap it all up. Okay, first up, framing the standard. Before we can teach anything well, we've got to be super clear on what this standard is really asking our kids to do, and just as importantly, why it matters. This is our foundation. The standard we're zoning in on is K-2.T.R.A.1, and what it boils down to is this. We're reframing research as just being curious. We're teaching our students that they can build their own knowledge simply by asking questions about stuff they're excited about and then going on a little hunt to find the answers. And for our students, we can translate all that teacher talk into something really simple and powerful, an I can statement. I can ask and answer simple questions to learn more about a topic. This makes the goal of the lesson totally clear and gives them ownership. This is exactly what we want them to feel confident saying by the time we're done. Okay, so we've got the what and the why. Now let's talk about the how. To really bring this standard to life, we are going to lean on two incredible resources, a strategy card and an evidence document. Seriously, these two things, they're going to be your best friends for planning a killer lesson. And here's why these two documents are just so awesome together. The strategy card is like your recipe. It gives you the clear step-by-step instructions. The evidence document, that's the picture of the final delicious meal. It shows you exactly what success looks and sounds like, so you know precisely what to look for. Now, the evidence document gives us this fantastic table. On the left, you see acceptable evidence. That's our goal. But the column on the right, common misconceptions, this right here is a game changer. It's our misconception alert. It's basically like getting a sneak peek at the mistakes your students might make so you can be ready with a plan to support them right in the moment. All right, planning is done. Now it's time for the magic to happen, the actual teaching. We're going to walk through the routine from our strategy card using that classic I do, we do, you do model. It's a classic for a reason. This gradual release of responsibility really works. It gives students the perfect amount of support to build confidence and independence. So here it is, the core routine right from our strategy card. It's a simple 4-step process. We introduce a topic, we get them asking questions, we read a text to find answers, and then they capture one new thing they learned. So let's walk through it with a topic kids always love, hibernation. So we're going to start with I do, where the teacher is in the driver's seat. We model our own thinking out loud. We might say something like, I'd like to learn more about hibernation, but I'm not sure which questions I need to ask. This is that classic teacher move, the think aloud. And it's so powerful because it normalizes not knowing. It shows our students that curiosity starts with a question. Okay, now we shift gears into the we do. We invite our students into the process with a really specific prompt, like, think back to our book, what questions do you have about hibernation? You can see that evidence alignment callout on the screen because this question is pulled right from our documents. It's designed to elicit exactly the kind of thinking we're looking for. And this is what you'll start to hear. These are the kinds of awesome, on-topic questions your kids will come up with. And as they share, we're jotting them down on a big anchor chart. We're creating our class Wonderwall, which becomes the roadmap for our research. But, it's going to happen. A student goes a little off topic. Maybe they ask about squirrels. This is a critical teaching moment. We use a quick check to gently redirect. And this response right here, it's perfect. Notice how it works. You praise the thinking. That's a fantastic question. And then you gently guide them back on track. It's all about supportive, clear redirection. And now for the you do. But wait, before we throw them into independent writing, we do this one crucial step. After we've read a text or watched a video, we have them turn and talk to a partner to share one new thing they learned.
This teacher move, oral rehearsal, is an absolute game changer. It lets them practice their language and organize their thoughts before the pressure of writing it down.
Okay, but we all know that our classrooms are filled with all kinds of learners, right? A great lesson has to work for everyone. And our planning documents give us some really practical ideas for differentiation. So, on one hand, for our kids who might need a little more scaffolding, we can offer sentence stems like I wonder, or use a simple KWL chart. And then, for those students who are ready to fly, we have extensions. Let them do a small group inquiry on a related topic, or maybe even act out what they learned with some research theater. All right, we've done all this amazing teaching, but how do we know it worked? It's time to close that instructional loop and assess their learning. How do we find the evidence that they really got it? And we're going to use a super simple but really powerful tool, the exit ticket. The task is just for students to draw or write one new fact they learned. But we have some very specific student look-fors. We're not just looking for a cute drawing of a bear. We're looking for a fact that's accurate, that comes directly from our text, and that connects back to one of our original questions. That's the proof of mastery. Okay, let's pull it all together now. What are the big takeaways here? What are the key ingredients that make this whole process work so well? So, as you get ready to try this in your own classroom, just remember these 4 key things. 1, use that strategy card for the flow of the lesson and the evidence document for the details. 2, start with topics your kids are already excited about. 3, use lots of different sources, pictures, videos, books. And 4, always bring it back full circle to the questions they asked at the beginning. That's how you build a real culture of inquiry. You see, when you follow a process like this, you're doing so much more than just checking off a standard. You're teaching your students that their questions are important, that their curiosity is a tool, and that they have the power to find answers. So really, the only question left is, what topic will your students wonder about first?